Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am working on filling the girls' Easter baskets for this year, and I'm going to be using my Cricut machine to personalize a couple items. So I'm going to be doing a couple little items with adhesive vinyl, and then I will also be using some HTV or iron-on for another item that I'm excited to be placing in their baskets this year. Be sure to stick around to the end because I will share their final baskets at the very end. So let's go ahead and hop into Cricut Design Space and we'll begin working on the first little item. Okay, so for my first little Easter basket filler, I have these little containers that I actually purchased for my craft room, and I purchased so many that I had some extras, and I am going to fill these little containers with little Easter M&Ms for the girls. So I want to put little decals on them just to make them really Eastery. So I am going to come over to Images, and I am going to search for Bunny Kisses. Let's see if that brings up the image I want. Okay, this is the image I want to use. So let me hover over. It's the title of it's called Bunny Kisses 25 cents, in case you want to try to find that yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and insert my image. Now I need to do a little bit of editing to this because I am going to separate and take away some of the things. So first is easy enough. I'm going to take the yellow layer. I do not need that, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. And then I am going to take away the arrow. So I will go ahead and click on the gray layer, and I will come down to contour in the bottom right hand corner. And what I'm going to do is, if you have never contoured before, all you do is click on the elements that you want to remove. You can do them in the layers panel over on the right, or you can also do it manually on the screen by just clicking the elements that you do not want. So I'm probably just going to do it right on the screen by hovering over the areas that I don't want and just removing them. So I'm removing the arrow, but that also includes all of the little cuts that go inside. Okay, then I will go ahead and click X, and then that removes my arrow. Okay, now what I would like to do is come up to the pink layer, so I'll grab that and I will contour out the hearts. We're doing a lot of editing on this, but it makes it so it's really easy to customize and do whatever you want with a file, even if you're doing something different than what the file was initially intended for. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to do is I want to take the bunny away. So I'm going to actually just easily do that by slicing. So I'll take a square and I will really quickly just place the square over the image that I do not want, or the image I want to take away. Now you can only slice 2 layers at a time, so I'm only going to grab the square, and then I'm going to grab the bunny, and I'm going to slice. Okay, so then I can remove what I do not want, and then I'm left with my bunny standing alone. Okay, so we've done all that. Now what I want to do is I am actually going to have these two pieces together, so I am going to just weld them together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am actually going to create an offset for these because I want a little shadow layer behind them. Now I'm going to go really quickly through offset because I have something really big coming about offset in the weeks ahead. And if you are not subscribed, be sure you are subscribed because I am working so hard on this video. You guys are going to love it. It is more than just a tutorial on offset, so be sure you're ready to go for that. So really quickly, I'm going to come up to offset. It is the new feature, and I'm just going to zoom through this because again, I'm going to spend more time on this in another tutorial. So I'm just going to drag that to the right to create a little shadow layer behind my design, and then I will select apply. Okay, so now I have a nice shadow layer. So my shadow layer is actually going to be out of a pink, and then my words are going to be out of a white. Okay, perfect. Whoops, let me put those together and just bring them over here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same for my bunny. So I'll go ahead and just make my bunny white, and then I will select my bunny, come to offset, and I like where it defaulted. Let me see if I can actually make that a little bit thinner and see. Actually, I like it a little bit thinner, just like that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and say apply. Then I will grab my offset and I will make that a pink. Okay, so this is all ready. Now I just need to size it for my little container. So the top of my container is 3 by 3, so I'm just going to replicate that with a little square here. And I'm just going to say 3 inches by 3 inches. And then I will send this to the back and bring my little bunny, all of my bunny. Remember, that's 2 layers now. And I'll just hover over here, and I think that is going to be a really nice size. Maybe I'll size that down just a hair. Okay, that's good. Then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this bunny. Now, if I do go too fast for you, be sure to pause, rewind any sections that you need to rewatch. Okay, now I'm going to do my sizing for the little bunny kisses, and I'm going to change my little template size. And I am going to change that to about 2.5 inches in width and then 2 inches in height. Oops, 2 inches in height. Okay, that's about right. And then I will size this down and get a good size for that, which actually looks pretty perfect like that. Okay, so again, I'm going to make 2 of these little jars or containers. So I will select my design and duplicate it. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the Cricut Joy for this project. So I will select my Cricut Joy and then say Make It. I'm actually going to place all my material on a mat because I'm only using scrap materials, and I will say Done. Then it's going to place my little designs right here. I'm actually going to bring these apart just a little bit so I have enough room to cut in between. And then for this piece, I am going to actually tell it it's going to be on a little bit longer of a mat. Actually, I'll do a longer mat for both of them. That way I don't need to bring another mat out. And then I'm going to stack them this way only because that is how my scrap piece of vinyl looks. So don't be afraid to edit your mats to fit the material that you have or just to save material in general. Okay, so I am all set to go. I am now going to say continue, and then it's going to find my joy and I can make my material selection. So for my first mat, I'm going to say premium vinyl because I'm just using some Oracle 651 vinyl. For my second mat, I am going to say smart vinyl because I have some smart vinyl scraps that I'm using. Okay, so premium vinyl for the first mat. Again, I'll change it for the second mat and I'll get this all cut out. Okay, so I have my Cricut Joy here. It's calling for my white first. So I'll go ahead and place my white on my mat. Again, I'm only using scraps. So I always love using scraps when I'm working on smaller projects just to save some money for material. Okay, that's all set. I can go ahead and load that into my machine and get this first piece cut. Okay, so while that's cutting, these are the little containers that I am going to be using. They're super cute and a perfect size to add a little candy filler for their Easter baskets. So I am going to really quickly just apply a little bit of rubbing alcohol to the top and sides. Actually, I think that'll be plenty. And that is just going to prep the surface, even though I just washed these by hand. It'll prep the surface for the vinyl to really lay down nice. Okay, so that will give that plenty of time to dry while we cut and weed our designs. Okay, so my first is all done. I can go ahead and turn my mat over and remove my vinyl. And then for my second piece, I will place it right on the mat and get this cut out. Okay, so I am going to take my scraper and turn my vinyl over and just really burnish the back, just because I'm working with really small pieces and I like to make sure everything is in its place before I start weeding. Okay, and then this is all done, so I can unload that. Done. Okay, now we are really ready to weed. Okay, so now I'm going to weed my little white piece first. And I like to just weed all of the elements and then trim them apart after, just because then I can really see where to place my cut with my scissors, because I have definitely cut into my vinyl before if I have cut before weeding. It's a little hard to see sometimes. So I'm just going to go through, weed out my extras, and then going through and weeding out all the middles of the letters. And sometimes I find it helpful just to poke them with my weeding tool to really grab them. And I did actually buy a pin pen tool, weeding tool. I really need to bring that out and give that a try because that might be really nice for small pieces like this. Okay, so I have all my little pieces and I'm just making sure that they are not stuck on my little sheet here, but this looks nice and ready to go. Okay, so now, like I said, now that I can really see, I can go through and actually trim my pieces apart because they're all going to go in separate areas. So I will just cut those apart and then keep those organized as I go. And then I will go ahead and weed the smart vinyl. Okay, there we go. Super easy. Again, these are the offset layers. I cannot wait to show you that tutorial that's coming up. I am working so hard on it. It is going to be really awesome, so get excited for that. Okay, so now again, I will just trim these apart like this. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do, you can do this in any order that you find best, but I'm going to lay down my pinks onto the canisters first, and then I'm going to lay down my next layer second onto the canisters instead of layering them on top of one another and then transferring them. But it doesn't matter, however you want to do it is just fine. I do recommend that you do some type of clear transfer tape, so I'll link the one that I really like in the description box below, but I'm going to try to do all of this with one piece of transfer tape. So let me start with the bunnies. So I'll grab my little scraper. These bunnies are so cute, and I love that the little pink will show through and make the ears look like they're pink poking through. I think that'll be really cute. Okay, now I did mismeasure that. It actually was 2 3/4 instead of 3, but this is still a really great size. So I'll just place that where I would like it on the top. I love it already. I could stop right now and be completely in love with how this turned out, but it's going to just start looking even better and better. Let's see, we'll grab from down here. Oh, and that lid has to come right off. Okay, so there's the first little layer, and then I'll grab our white layer. The reason I wanted to do it this way was because once the vinyl is secure on the little canister, then it doesn't want to cling when you're trying to layer your vinyl on top of one another, because I have problems with my vinyl wanting to do that. You can also do the parchment paper method if you'd like, but since these are so basic and the shapes are so basic, I found that I can probably just eyeball it and be just fine. Okay, so I love that little offset. I think that looks so, so cute because it really just makes it really pop on the little canister there. So how cute is that? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to put the little candies in there and show you how it turns out. Okay, so same thing with the side. So I'm just going to turn this on its side, and I'm going to say bunny kisses on the side. We're just going to pretend that they are little bunny kisses, the little M&Ms. Okay, and ooh, it goes this way. No, yes it does. Okay, this way. Oh, there we go. Just like so. Good thing I thought about that, although you could have peeled it up. Would have been okay. Okay, layer 1 is down. Little tiny bubble there. Let me see if I can get that out. If not, I have very forgiving toddlers. Okay, and we can just blame the Easter Bunny, right? Okay, scraping one side. Now, I have a lot of comments about how I managed to get my vinyl to come off of the carrier sheet so easily, and it's because I scrape on both sides. So that really, really helps. And I find that I have definitely put that into my workflow after seeing how effective that is. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up just like that. How cute. So sweet. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do the second jar so that you don't have to watch me do that again, and then we will fill these up and move on to our next little craft. Cute, I love it. All right, friends, I'm on my last piece, and I did all of it with the same little piece of transfer tape. It is just about toast, so it is time to toss it, but I managed to do it all with one piece. Okay, so I'll be sure to link these little canisters down in the description box below because they are the perfect size. Plus, if you need a little craft room organization, they are working for that as well. Okay, so cute. Let's fill them with candy. Okay, pop these little tops. And Mama got the big bag of Easter candy. I love getting the little holiday colors. I think they're so fun. I get them for every holiday because why not? How cute is that? Okay, those smell amazing, so I'm definitely, you know what, I'm keeping this open and I'm just going to put this to the side and I will enjoy a treat while I continue filling baskets. How cute are those? You guys, come on, those are so cute. I love how those turned out. So sweet, little bunny kisses. Okay, first craft is done. Let's hop back into Design Space and start working on our next little idea.
Okay, so for my next idea, I purchased these little blank compacts that I thought would be super cute to personalize with a little decal. My girls love to play dress up and they love little accessories, so I am going to personalize some cute little makeup compacts. So I am going to, first of all, come and grab a circle. And the size of my little area that I have to work with is 2 1/4. So I'm just going to make myself a little template so I know how to size my design. And then I'll just make this bigger so that I can really see what I am doing here. Okay, and then I'll just make this nice and pink just because. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to images, and I believe the file I want to use is called Bunny Head. I know that sounds silly, but it's the first one that pops up, this cute little guy, and I'm going to say insert images. Okay, so before I do anything, what I need to do is contour out everything. I just want to keep the outline of the bunny. So I'm going to come down to contour again at the bottom right hand of the layers panel, and then I am going to say hide all contours, and when you do that it just leaves the top. So the top is the outline, which is what I want to keep. I can go ahead and exit out, and there I have my final outline. So that sizing looks just about right. I might size it down just a little bit. And now what I want to do is I want to personalize each one with their initial, and I'm going to slice it out of the little bunny head. So I am going to first of all duplicate this so that I have a extra copy because I'm going to make 2 separate ones, and then I'm going to come over to my text. I am going to search for the font called Falling Leaves, I believe. Yes, Falling Leaves Print. It is a font I purchased off of font bundles or design bundles, but I'll be sure to link it below. I purchased it in a bundle, so I'll just link the bundle that I got it in. And then the first initial is K, the second initial is C. So I have both the initials. I will size those down together and just see how big I want those. That looks good. Now I'm going to ungroup them so that they are separate from one another. And then I'm just going to visually place that in the center of my little bunny here. Then I'm going to grab both layers, both the K and the bunny outline, come down to slice. It's down here at the bottom of the layers panel. And then it's going to slice out my little initial from the bunny. So here is my final file. So this is going to be out of a white vinyl, and it will go right on top of the little compact just like that. These are my little trash pieces, so I can delete those, and then I can do the exact same to my second file. So I will go ahead and highlight both and slice, and then I will be left with my final result and then my little trash pieces. Okay, again, I will make this white, and then I can go ahead and delete my circle because I have everything sized and I don't need my Cricut to cut out a circle. So click out of that, and then I can cut these 2 pieces out. So again, we'll use the joy. I'll say make it. I will try to use that scrap vinyl that I still have left over from our first project. So still using scraps, we'll put it on a mat, say done. That looks good. And we'll say continue. I will select premium vinyl as my material setting, and then I will load my machine and cut this out.
Okay, so using that little scrap piece I had left over from my first project, which was originally a scrap piece, which is awesome. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and just put some rubbing alcohol on the tops of both of these compacts so that they are ready and prepped for the vinyl. Okay, now I cannot remember where I purchased these. I purchased these, I think, over a year ago. Whenever I see little blanks on sale or that just catch my eye, I put them in my little craft stash, and now they came in handy. This was the perfect project for them. Okay, so these would also be really good bridesmaids gifts or little stocking stuffers. So you could do lots of fun ideas with these. Okay, so I will still have some leftover vinyl, which is wonderful. I think that I'm going to do all of my little stuffers with scrap materials today, so that makes me so happy. Okay, so once again, I'm going to turn my vinyl over and just press down on the back with my scraper, make sure everything is in its place, and then I will grab my weeding tool and then again weed out those middle pieces where our initials are. My craft room smells like chocolate right now, and I am trying not to munch on anything until I finish crafting, but I'm not going to make any promises. Okay, placing my transfer tape over my vinyl, and then scraping the front, and then again scraping the back, because that really helps pull up the vinyl effortlessly, just like that. Okay, then making sure that the little clasp where it opens, or if you're working with anything that's directional, make sure that that is down so that that goes on straight. Okay, I will just center that best I can visually and scrape it down. Okay, super cute. So here's our little mirror. How cute is that? Cute little stuffer for their baskets. They will love that. Okay, and here is the little second one. So cute. I love how these turned out. Okay, scrape that down as well. Pull away transfer tape and easy peasy. So those took less than 10 minutes from start to finish. Even with design space and recording, it took 0 time. So really good for a last minute idea as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our final little idea. And on our final idea, we are going to be doing a little iron-on on some cute little Easter bunnies. So ironing on some stuffed animals, and I thought that would be really cute for their baskets.
Okay, so for our final little craft, I want to put the girls as monograms on their little bunnies because the bunnies that I have are identical and I want them to be able to tell them apart. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do a little heart as well. So real quick, I'll go into images and I will type in heart to find the heart that I would like. And scroll down until I find the one that I really like. And it's this one right here. I have used this in so many of my tutorials because I absolutely love this heart. I think it's so cute. Okay, so I'll pull that off to the side, and then I'm going to come over to my text box next to make my little monograms. So I'm going to use the font Kate's ABC's Baby Girl. Again, another font or element that I actually use so much in my tutorials because it's just a really nice font. Whoops. Okay, so now what I can do is come over to the layers panel and delete that second layer because I only need one layer for this project. And then I'm going to, let's real quick duplicate this so I can make my second monogram by double clicking, and then I can just change out the letters. Okay, so here are the 2 monograms that I need. Then I am going to unlock and I am going to elongate. Okay, same with this, unlock and elongate. Okay, make sure those are roughly the same size. Sometimes I like to hover my designs over one another just to make sure. I should have done that and then duplicated it, but that's okay. All right, now I am going to ungroup, so that all my letters now stand alone from one another, and I'm going to make that middle D bigger. Okay, so that looks good. And then I'm going to hold down Command on my keyboard, and I'm going to select the E and the K, and I'm just going to say align, and I'm going to align bottom. Looks like they were already aligned because they look really good. Let's actually say align center vertically. I think that might be even better. Okay, so I like how that looks, just like so. So once I like how it looks, I'm going to highlight all three pieces and I'm going to weld those together because I want that all to be permanent. Okay, so I'll put that off to the side, and then I will do the same for the second one. So again, ungroup. Now they are all individual, and then I can elongate and make that middle initial bigger, just like so. Okay, and then selecting my two side letters, I will come to align and say center vertically. Oh, I must have had it right on the money. Okay, perfect. So now I can weld this together and then size that down. Okay, so now I just need to size everything for my project. So I want them to be about 1 inch in height, which they are. That looks good. I can bring this up just a little bit. Actually, I might bring that down just a tad just to make sure I have enough room. Okay, and those are roughly the same size. Okay, good to go there. And then I will do a heart as well. Okay, so I have a little heart. I will duplicate that, so I have 2, and then I will make those the same color because I'm going to do all of this out of a pink. Okay, so I have my joy selected. I can go ahead and say make it. Now the difference between this craft and the crafts that we have been doing is that we are now going to work with HTV or iron-on. So for this part of the tutorial, what you need to do is you need to mirror your image because we are now working with iron-on. Okay, now we are going to press continue, and then it's going to locate the joy and we can make our selection. So I'm going to browse all materials and I am going to say glitter iron-on. Say done and load my mat. Again, it comes up with an alert that's really helpful to make sure mirror is turned on, which you can verify right over here. And then we are going to place our material a certain way on the mat, which I'll show you in just a moment.
Okay, so I have my mini EasyPress that I'm going to use for this. So I'm going to preheat this to medium and let that preheat while we get everything cut out. So for the glitter iron-on, I'm going to place that glitter side down on the mat and place that right on the mat. Make sure it's nice and stuck on there, and then we'll get that cut out. Okay, so this is all done being cut, so I will really quickly trim off my scrap pieces, which is a lot. I barely used any there. Okay, and then I will go ahead and begin weeding. So just like weeding vinyl, except for that glitter side is still face down, I will just pull apart all of the areas that I do not want to have in my final design. Okay, and then going right back through and grabbing the middle pieces. I love to weed glitter iron-on. It is so easy, and it's nice and thick, so it comes off in really nice chunks. Okay, so then when you turn it over, then you have your design the right way. So then I'm going to take my scissors and just trim apart my designs, and then we will start pressing these onto our little bunnies. Okay, so my little mini EasyPress is all preheated, and I can go ahead and grab my little stuffed bunny here. Aren't these cute? Again, I'm sorry, I do not know where I got these. I purchased these, I think, the same time I purchased the little compacts, and so I think I got them just from a retailer that sells blanks, but I can't remember who they were. So I am going to place my designs on the ears. So I've never done this before, but I'm going to just be really careful and just monitor as I'm pressing. So I'm going to take a lint roller really quick and just make sure that the area that I'm pressing onto doesn't have any additional fuzz that really wants to come off right away. Actually, I think I'm going to do, I have to decide, no, that's right. Okay, I wanted to decide which side of the ear. I'm going to do the inner part of the ear because that seems to be what you see when she is side up. Okay, so I have that ready, and then I'm just going to preheat that for just a moment. Okay. Okay, perfect. And let's see, we'll grab our first initial, and I'll just place it right where I would like it. Now I'm going to make sure that that fur is all in one direction before I place my iron-on on. Okay, that feels really good. Again, I have my heat mat right underneath, and then I'm going to just do this for, I'm going to try about 25 seconds and see. Okay, so that has been about 25 seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip that over and just do an additional 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to let that cool, and while that's cooling, I will go ahead and do the other side. I'm just going to see where that ear, which way that ear likes to fall, and I think it's this way. So again, I'm going to just lint roll that, and then I will preheat it a little bit, about 5 seconds. Okay, and then this side I will just place the little heart on. So I think I'm going to have it kind of go at an angle there. I think that will look really cute. Once again, make sure all of that is going in the same direction so it's nice and organized and it'll lay down nice. Okay, and then I will repress. Again, I will do about 25 seconds. Now you'll just want to make sure that you're monitoring really closely as you're doing this. Make sure that you are adjusting the time if you need to. If you need to go a little less, then do that. Just keep an eye on your project as you are placing your design on it with the heat. So the mini EasyPress is designed to move, which is why I am rotating it around. So just so you know, in case you're wondering why I am moving it around during pressing. Okay, and then I'm going to, again, just flip that over and press on the back for about 15 seconds. Okay, so I waited till it cooled down, so it's still a little bit warm. I might wait just a little bit longer. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and monitor all the little pieces as I pull up to make sure everything has laid down. And it looks good. It looks good and it feels good. I love how it turned out. So cute. Okay, so then the other side is still quite a bit warm, so I will wait for that to cool. Okay, going ahead and peeling the other side, and that looks good as well. So that turned out really, really sweet. I like how the glitter looks on there as well. Of course, I feel like I should do a disclaimer and do your due diligence. Be cautious if you are going to give this to a child who puts things in their mouth or someone who is an infant. So I, of course, just be really careful when giving this as a gift. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press the other designs on this second little stuffed animal, and then I am going to show you all the little elements that I am going to bring together to put into the girls' basket. It's going to be so cute. Okay, so here are all the little details that are going to make up each girl's basket. So I tried to do most everything matching, and then of course I do some age appropriate things for each one, but they like to have things that are the same, and if I don't, then usually they want to play with one another's things, and so it's just easier to get them much of the same things. So of course we did the compacts today, and then the little bunny kisses container of chocolate, because chocolate is a must. And then I have these cute little water bottles that are really, really fun and sweet. They have a really cute floral design on them, and I'll be sure to link everything below if you are trying to build Easter baskets as well. And then of course together we made these cute little personalized bunnies that are going to be definitely loved. And then I try to always put pajamas in the girls' Easter baskets just because pajamas are something that are always needed, so I always try to find something cute and springy, and I usually do pajamas for just about any holiday that we have. So we did one of those, and then I did these cute little bunny ears because they are just so, so fun. And then for my youngest, we have a little book. This is Bunny Roo and Duckling 2. I have not actually opened this up yet, but we have the I Love You Bunny Roo. I can't remember what book it is, but we have the board book that is so good. It's one of our favorites. And I realized that they have another book out, so I definitely went and got that because we really love the first one. So we have that for her because she's younger, and then for my older one, she just started reading a couple months ago, so she is going to get a set of beginner books, which she is just going to love. So I have that little set for her, and I think that is it. I have little snap clips, which I just realized I don't have little clips over here for my youngest, so I might have to make some on my Cricut machine. I have a tutorial on how to make leather snap clips, so if you want to know how to do that, they're super easy, and I'll place a link in the top right hand corner so that you can check that out. So I will go ahead and assemble these. At the end you'll see a cute little video of the girls' final baskets. I hope this was helpful in showing you some cute little ideas for how you can use your Cricut to create some really fun fillers for Easter baskets, plus gain some other inspiration on what you can fill the baskets with. Alright everyone, please give this a thumbs up if you found it inspirational or helpful in any way, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video.